In this short video, what I'm going to do is teach you how to create a Google form, embed that form within a Haiku page, and then go ahead and embed the spreadsheet response from that form on the Haiku page so students can peer review, peer edit, or use data that that form collected. So we need to go ahead and create a form from within our Google Drive. Having done so, this page will pop up. First thing we're going to want to do is look at the form settings. So students will already be logged into the district because they'll be in Haiku. I normally want to collect their TUSD username. I'm going to allow them to give more than one response if necessary, and I'm going to shuffle the question order. So I'm going to change the name of the form, and I'm going to call it data response form. And the first question for me is always name, first name, last, and the help text I normally give is, for example, Barack. And the purpose of doing this is it makes it much easier to order your spreadsheet A through Z or Z through A if you get their last name first. So this needs to be a text response. We have a number of options in the Google form, but for this I just want the student's name. I'm going to make this a required question, so they cannot submit their form unless they've done this, and then I'm going to select Done. Now I want to add an item. If I take a look at the list, I can add all different kinds. In this case, I'm going to just add another text, and this one is enter data here. This is a required question. It is done, and I am finished with my form. There's a confirmation page once students have submitted their form. I can put in a thank you for adding your data to the collection of data. Now what I want to do is send my form. I need to get an embed code for this so I can paste it into Haiku. So what I do is I select send form, blue button in the top right hand corner, and I want to embed this form in Haiku. So having selected embed, I then have some options. The custom size, I always delete everything because that will be as wide as the page is. So we're not setting a specific width, it's going to go to the maximum size that you set up in Haiku. And in the height, this isn't a big form, but if you have a lot of questions, you're going to want to make this height quite long, and there's reasons for doing that I can explain later. But for now, I would think 700 pixels in height would work. And then once I've done that, I want to click outside and get the embed code. So I'm going to press Control and C, copy that embed code, and now I am off to Haiku. So from within Haiku, I'm going to add a content block. That content block is going to embed the web code that we just got from our Google form. I paste my code where it says paste code here. I need to give my content block a title. I'm just going to call it data entry. I'm going to position it. Sorry for the bell. Going to position it at the top. And then here, if I look at the embed code, I can see that there's a width and a height. I can go in and change those later. For now, let's see how that looks on the page. There's my form. So what I'm going to go ahead and do right now is I am going to embed the responses from this form on this page. Because if we're collecting data, we might want students to share this data. So if I take a look at the form I created, you will notice that I can view the responses, I can view the live form. So this is what it's going to look like to students. And we've already seen that that's how it looked embedded in Haiku. More than that, we can actually go and view the responses. And by default, every time you create a form, it'll create a Excel-like spreadsheet of the responses. And it defaults to the name of the form, responses in parentheses. So I am going to embed this within Haiku. What I want to make sure is that for issues of privacy perhaps, or to encourage students to not feel bad about the fact that their name might get posted, is we can hide a column on a form spreadsheet. So I'm going to hide their username. I'm going to hide their name. And I'm going to hide the timestamp, which is the time and date in which they submitted. And then I am going to go back to Haiku and add a content block. This content block is to add directly from Google Drive, and we're going to go searching for our form response. So we're going to pick from Google Drive, and it would normally find the most recent Google Documents, Forms, Drives, Drawings we worked on, and there it is, Google Data Response Form Responses. I'm going to select that. I'm going to make sure that it can't be edited. I'm going to place it beneath the form. And then once I have done that, I shall click Next. And we'll have to wait a few seconds for the form to be embedded. In fact, I often need to reload the page before that happens. So there we see that the form is live. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how that looks. I'm going to put my name in. The data I collected, my result was 35.5. If I so wish, and I suggest you do this with your students, have them email them at their mytusd.org a copy of their submission and responses and hit submit. And I've now completed that. If I now scroll down, you will see that the data has not been updated. So I just need to reload the page. And we can see there is my response. So if you're working in a science or a math class and you want a larger pool of data, you can do this across class periods. You could maybe have it so there's more than one teacher, and obviously the more data you get, the better the data usage can be by the students. So I hope that seeing this workflow can give you some ideas of how using Google Forms for collecting data can be quite powerful in your classroom. Thanks.